A footnote, as JD mentioned, we had to make some other hard decisions today too. On the way to the river that we had to cross to go to the rapids, we passed through an area with some very serious poverty. Got some really good photos, but we walk a very fine line every time we go through an area like that, between respecting the privacy and the dignity of these people, however poor they are, and capturing a side of life here in Honduras that'll disappear once the new port opens and the land in which they're living becomes a tourist attraction. We also made a decision when it came time to cross the river that if we were going to go forward, we couldn't go forward with both our cameras and the video camera without significantly risking the possibility that we would be unable to complete the assignment because both of our cameras would have been so damaged by submersion in the water. My camera is now 5 years old, and we know that it's nearing the end of its life, so we elected to risk destroying mine as opposed to JD's, which is, well, about a year and a half old now. We left them with one of the people who work for the development company who elected not to come with us in order to watch over our gear. Hard decision. There were probably some photos we could have gotten, and the video camera would have been indispensable, particularly when people started jumping off one of the higher rocks into the white water. But there's a real art to knowing when to take a risk and when not to, and overall, I got some good photos, stills of people jumping off the rocks. And my camera did get hit pretty hard when I went down on a rock. A risk, and again, when you're on the road like this, there isn't an opportunity to go to Canon Professional Services tomorrow. There is no place to rent a camera. There is no way to recover from a catastrophic risk. So we made a hard decision, and one I'm glad we made. We'll continue to talk about those issues as we go forward. Again, tomorrow we're faced with another one, a 12-person boat with 10 people on it, plus our gear. We want to make absolutely sure that when this assignment is done, we not only complete it successfully, but we do everything we can to make sure that our gear survives in one piece, or that if we lose something, it's a measured response so that we can continue to work next week. We have a major assignment on Tuesday, and the worst thing in the world for us would be to have both of our cameras broken from a fall or from submersion in the salt water. So I hope all this makes sense, and we look forward to your feedback. Well, I'd like to close as usual by thanking our sponsors, to Hoodman, whose cards continue to be incredible. At one point, as JD was going across the river with my camera over his head, my camera strap was in the water, which meant that my spare memory card, which I had to use about a half hour later, was submerged. And as always, Hoodman's memory cards survive anything, and I went on to get 39 photos on that card. In fact, they're on my laptop now. They were downloading while I was making this segment. I want to thank Think Tank, of course, for their bags, and today I used their strap system and belt. It was immensely comfortable for me, especially climbing over rocks and trees and walking through the woods. We also wanted to thank OntheRoad, whose tripod lived all the way through the trip here in the bottom of my duffel bag and accompanied us on our journey up the river today. It's an incredible piece of equipment, and every time I take it into the field, I'm impressed by the fact that it weighs so little and is so very strong. I also want to thank Black Rapid. This is my first time using their gear in such a circumstance. I've been using it mostly for event photography and documentary work in an urban environment. It functioned absolutely flawlessly, and at the end of the day, I didn't have the typical back-breaking strain caused by my old camera strap. So Tyler, thanks. We appreciate all your hard work in designing a camera strap that makes such an incredible difference in the way that we do our work. And finally, a special thanks to Canon. I don't know too many DSLRs that can bounce off a rock and bounce up in the air and continue to function. without those cameras, we wouldn't be what we are and where we are. So thank you, Canon. Well, we're going to go now. I think a shower is more before bed, and I'm going to be pretty sore tomorrow after having hit that rock. So I want to get as much rest as I can, and we'll fill you in tomorrow. Good night.